What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. And hey, the man has done it again. Deontay Wilder has once again turned down another fight. He has turned down $8 million to fight Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's been chasing Wilder for some time, even though that's not the premier fight that everyone wants to see. It's still a fight that can be made. But hey, what can I tell you? I've said it again and again and again. Deontay Wilder is not interested in fighting Dillian Whyte. Fecal was talking for him, and he made his statement, and he said, well, hey, if you want us to fight Dillian Whyte, it has to have Joshua's name attached to it. So, I mean, that kind of makes sense, but then this is my thing. If a potential fight or a huge fight between Wilder and Fury is supposed to be brewing in the midst, you got to ask yourself, how much money is Deontay Wilder getting for that fight? I mentioned it in my last video, but in comparison to someone like Dillian Whyte, knock White out, get $8 million. I mean, but again, I keep telling people it's not about the money with Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder is not accustomed to making $7, $8 million. Okay, he's only accustomed to making maybe two or 1.5, 1.2, 1.3. His latest was 2.1, I believe, and that was against Ortiz. And speaking of Ortiz, Dillian Whyte was supposed to fight Ortiz. So, it's people that are selectively just chasing certain fighters. Okay. So that's what I see. But, I figured Deontay Wilder wouldn't go for that particular fight because that fight means less. Dillian Whyte has been beaten before. He's been beaten by Anthony Joshua. As Fecal mentioned and pointed out, that he almost got knocked out by Joseph Parker. If there was another round or another minute in that round, I think Joseph Parker would have been victorious at the very end. It would have been some Taylor versus Chavez one kind of activity, you know what I mean? Where, Dillian Whyte had it in the bag. He didn't respect Joseph Parker no more, and Joseph Parker showed him what was up. He showed him, that he was a warrior, nonetheless. So it doesn't really surprise me, man, because, Deontay Wilder, you got to understand something. He looks at Dillian Whyte as a peasant. He's already said it. He's after the king. You know what I mean? And if he can't get the king, he's after the king that was the king, which was Tyson Fury. So I get that. If Dillian Whyte wants to fight, I think Dillian Whyte should take on Luis Ortiz. Or Parker should fight Luis Ortiz. One of those fights would be good or a great fight to have. You know what I mean? I think that would be the best fight to be made, and then if he wants to go down that avenue and fighting Parker again, a rematch is always available because, hey, Parker almost knocked him out. You know what I mean? Check out Rocky 1. Why do you think you had a Rocky 2? So, I mean, that could happen like that if Eddie Hearns wants to get his guy back in there, and then give Parker another shot and see how, Dillian Whyte learns in the second fight. Now, that's always a possibility. But as far as Deontay Wilder, I think, first of all, he's pissed at Eddie Hearns anyway. He doesn't like him for two. And I don't think it's money for three. I don't think that anything that Eddie Hearn can do at this point could get Deontay Wilder in the ring with Whyte. You know what I mean? Yeah. You could set up a fight and attach Joshua's name to it. You could do that, but I don't even think that's that because Deontay Wilder's already turned that down before. People forget that. He turned down that 2-fight deal. They offered him $20 million to fight two guys, 5 for Whyte and then a 15 for Joshua. So that was a 2-fight deal, and he turned that down. He didn't want it. You know what I mean? So it was a lot of back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. Guys are going their own way. Deontay Wilder's decided to do something else, so that's that. Whyte should take on Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz just redeemed himself. Dillian Whyte just showed that he was the man by dispatching of Joseph Parker in a very close fight. Or he can fight Parker again. That's really all I see. Chisora, I mean, it seems like to me that Hearn at this point is just trying to, throw Deontay Wilder, throw an obstacle in the way, So I think that's the case. I think that, the cash cow will always be Anthony Joshua. And, Anthony Joshua is the king. He's sitting back on high. So they're trying to show him other alternatives, which Deontay Wilder doesn't really care for that. And it doesn't matter about the $8 million. I would have took it if I was Deontay Wilder, but I'm not Deontay Wilder. He's his own man. He has his own brain. So, but I mean, it would be unfortunate. Now get this. I just uploaded a video about Tyson Fury, and Tyson Fury looked really good. Okay, I'm going to reiterate that. He looked really well. So let's say he gets $6 million to fight Tyson Fury and loses. See, what people don't understand about, Deontay Wilder is he just has to lose that belt. If he loses that belt, it's over with. It doesn't matter who he gets beat by. If he gets beat, it's done. So I think he knows that. I think he knows what's at stake. So, and if he's going to fight, I hope he gets his money for it. Because the problem I'm having with Wilder at this point is he's turning down this huge amount of money that he's never had. And it's unfortunate because, okay, you let your pride get in the way of your business sense. But then you talk about legacy, but then when someone offers you a fight, you go back to the business side. So it's kind of confusing to know which way he's thinking at certain times. Are you doing it for legacy? Are you doing it for money? Are you doing it for both? Because when the more, it seems like the more money people offer you, the more. And I'm not just talking about Joshua. Sure that's included, but I'm talking about other fights too. Look at the Klitschko fight. They didn't want him to get in there with Klitschko a few years ago. That's a fact. And they offered him $7 million. He never made that. So I think in his mind, well, maybe big, huge lump sums of money, big prize fight packages like that. I think that makes him nervous, I think. You know what I mean? It might. I don't know, because I think he's comfortable with what he gets. I mean, he doesn't get peanuts, but compared to like Joshua, he does. It's crumbs. It's percentages of what Joshua gets. But that's Anthony Joshua, though. You know what I mean? That's why he's the A side. The dude has 4 belts. So, I mean, he has one, and he's holding what he can hold down with that one belt. So, I can understand him cashing out for those big fights. I just couldn't understand him taking a fight with Tyson Fury, knowing or not knowing what kind of condition he's in, and losing possibly. I think he beats Fury. I just do, because, I mean, it's a lot we don't know about Fury. But then Fury did look good today in that media workout. You know what I'm saying? So, I did have to address that earlier today. But at the same time, if he gets in there, fighting someone like Dillian Whyte, I think he could take out Dillian Whyte easy. Because, again, Fico pointed out, Parker's not a power puncher. Wilder is. So if Parker can do that to Whyte, there's a good chance he can get Whyte out early and collect $8 million. And I think it's smarter to take the Whyte fight, because, but think about it. They wanted to offer him $5 million before. Now they're offering him $8 million. So that really technically is an increase if he can get that Joshua fight. See, Joshua fight is 15 flat, right? Okay, they're offering him $8 million. They offered him $8 million to fight Whyte. So if he takes $8 million on top of 15, that's $23 million. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that's a percentage all on its own. So that's my take on it. You guys tell me what you think about it. Please subscribe, hit the bell icon. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.